Ironically, it's Cool Coyote Ragtime Show, yet I didn't hear a lick of ragtime music in the whole thing.
Let's talk about the setting. The setting is sort of like, God, it's hard to describe because it's an amalgamation of so much stuff. But I guess the closest I would compare it to is like maybe One Piece and Outlaw Star put together, since there's this whole subplot about, or the main plot is like they're trying to find the treasure, right? The treasure left behind by the Pirate King and himself.
The Pirate King Bruce. And everyone's trying to hunt down this treasure, just like the Galactic Ley Line. Everyone's about this place. You know, they want the money for themselves. Yeah. They want to... Everyone's willing to kill each other for this fame.
Just like in Outlaw Star. There's a lot of parallels going on. They even have, like... They even have the grappler ship. Like, their ship is the Outlaw Star. It's the XGP.
Yeah,
I love Mister. Mister's like the best character.
Mister is definitely the highlight of the whole series.
Everything he does involves like some sort of force of nature, and everybody just kind of rolls with it. It's like, oh, it's a tsunami. Let's take advantage of this. Oh, there's a stampede of giant fucking alien bugs. Let's take advantage of this. You know, it's just like...
The man sees a tsunami overtaking the city, and instead of running away, he decides to surf the giant wave, Humunga Dunga style.
Yes, Humunga Dunga, episode 11.
he smokes cigars, he gets shot, and he's okay the next day. He's just
unkillable.
Everything you think a man can do, he can do better, and it's pretty incredible.
They did it! All right!
This is Ufotable at the peak of the bubble. This is when anime is just like, oh man, in America we can't get enough of it, and like Japan's just producing more than ever. So this came out in 2006, so you can imagine the production started like 2004, and they're like, hey, I think we're sleeping on some fucking money right now.
Yeah, this is the peak of the bubble when you can make a show more oriented to Western fans that wanted anime more like movies. They wanted characters that were more multicultural and that kind of setting that isn't Japanese. But then the bubble popped, and well...
But this is Ufotable's first original show, so this is their equivalent to like try to do what Studio Trigger did with like Kill la Kill, or like what Studio Wit did with Rolling Girls or something like that. It's their first original series. It's not based off anything. They actually did a manga after this, and so it's just really interesting to see them be like, oh hell yeah, we're gonna do those fucking cartoons I like back in the day, 10 years ago almost. But I want to get to Madame Marciano, Mrs. It's Showtime. Mrs. That's like her catchphrase. She had Roger Smith's catchphrase, and it's funny because he used it to summon a giant robot, and she's using it to summon like the Marciano sisters, or the daughters of Marciano, are just like this
Gothic
fucking
Lolita cyborg
hardcore
android.
Gothic Lolita hit squad. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, and October, November, and December are the lowly trio that have the super strength.
Yeah, they introduced Angelica Burns as this really cool character beginning, but only a couple times in the whole series does she really provide anything.
And then Chelsea is just kind of like Wikipedia and brown, and has fat titties and connections with her titties.
She tags around and exposits information and helps out Angelica because they love each other secretly.
And instead of smoking, she's eating like these, what, Kit Kats or wafers?
Biscuits.
Yeah, no, they're not biscuits. We're not having
Well, no, they're biscuits.
They're not biscuits. They're cookies.
They are. No, they're like little biscuits.
No.
Like rectangular biscuits.
No.
They're biscuits, yes. Anyway, Mr. and his crew is being chased down by a bunch of people who are trying to get the treasure, and they fly by this black church, which is just doing a sermon in the middle of the day, and Swamp is doing a sermon as a priest in a black church in English. And they're all just having a good old time.
it's really interesting how they describe Swamp, because Swamp is the right-hand man or the right arm of the Pirate King, and he's just kind of like settled down into being a preacher and like getting pampered by old ladies with groceries and stuff like that.
You know, he's another coyote who is a friend of Bruce's, and he's testing Mr. all the time. The only reason he hangs out with Mr. is a favor to Bruce and to see if Mr. is really worthy of you know, Bruce's fortune, essentially.
Like, he's based off of Don King, the old fight promoter from the 90s who promoted like Mike Tyson and stuff like that.
He goes from a coyote to a priest to a coyote again to the introducer of Donald J. Trump.
I told Michael Jackson
with some very
I said, if
racy
you're poor,
words thrown
you
around.
are a poor Negro. I would use the N-word, but
Those first 4 episodes just kind of swoop you up, and you're just like, whoa, let the party begin! You actually know all the crew members in the Outlaw Star, you know, freaking Asia, you know. I just know Asia.
You just know a giant tits.
You know Asia, you know Elfina, you know Gene, you know Asia.
One of the more interesting aspects of the series is the heist aspect, which one of the best episodes early on is the backstory of Bruce, where he infiltrates a bank pretending to be an employee, and by being in this place for a long time, he finds out the secrets and how to get into the place and get all the money. And it's just this cool episode of like good old heist action, like Ocean's 11.
And that's kind of what it is. It is kind of Ocean's 11, the fucking episode.
Action.
What did you think of Coyote Ragtime Show now that you've seen all of it?
It was pretty mediocre, I say.
Shut the fuck up.
Is that
Talk normal.
What do you mean? It's my...
Talk normal.
What I think of Coyote Ragtime Show? It's pretty mediocre. It isn't as good as the shows that it's inspired by from the 90s. You know, it's cool that Ufotable is trying to bring back this very popular type of show, but it doesn't have the same production values, it doesn't have the same likable amount of characters, and it doesn't have the same adventure aspect as Cowboy Bebop and Outlaw Star. In Outlaw Star and Bebop, you always have these cool adventures to the different planets, and each episode builds on a little bit of the character bit by bit. And it's always high-pumping action, whereas Coyote Ragtime Show starts off with this, like, yeah, like, cool heist, everyone's breaking out of prison, we get introduced to the characters, and everything's high-octane. But then, about halfway through the series, everything kind of slows down, and it's just all a big extended lead-up to something that isn't a big climax. If you've seen Cowboy Bebop and you've seen Outlaw Star, and you really have nothing else to watch again besides those, do that, and then come see Coyote Ragtime Show.
Yeah.
It's,
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you're somebody who's just like a stickler and just like, man, they don't make them like they used to, you know, definitely watch Coyote Ragtime Show. Watch all of it and be like, oh, this is why they don't make them like they used to. Remind yourself.
remember, kids.
Kept on waiting and waiting for you when I was 8, 9, 10, then 12 and 13 too. I just kept waiting.
Waiting for what?
For a Christmas present!